What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and we are going to be looking at the Bitcoin charts from the bigger time frame all the way down to the 4-hour. We're also going to be taking a look at Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Dow Jones, gold, silver, and DXY. This is going to be a quick run through, so pay attention. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment after the video to help the YouTube algorithm, and smash that thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Now let's take a look at this. As you guys, most of you know, the Bitcoin compared to the Amazon chart in the .com bubble. One thing I want to explain here, if you want to know the details, go back into previous videos, but everything is lining up still. The RSIs, the MACD, everything's lining up perfectly from when we broke this orange trend line. Right now, we're getting rejected at the 8 EMA, which is around that $41,000 range. Let's see. What happens here in this week will be pretty damn important. We could still see one more test of that 55 EMA, and we're going to talk about where that's at. But let's take a look at what's going on now. So if it was to happen like this, which I think it is, this is the Amazon chart in the .com bubble. In the .com bubble, there were plenty of scammy .coms. They had to be washed out before Amazon could succeed. Now, after this, it took Amazon 10 years to break its all-time high. Will that happen with Bitcoin? It's a good possibility. Is it guaranteed? Nothing's guaranteed in any market. Nobody knows for a fact what's going to happen. But this is very interesting how this chart is playing out, almost identical. As you guys know, I made this chart back on December 2nd. Everybody was calling me crazy. We were going to new all-time highs. We can see what happened. So what happens in a bear market? You have this first capitulation drop, and then it bounces back. Everybody thinks it's going to new all-time highs again. We've talked about this when it happened. Everybody's going to new all-time highs again. Oh, thank God. I'm glad I didn't sell. It's going to new all-time highs, and then it drops again. And they wish they would have sold up here. Then it drops down, and then they're wishing they would have sold up here. It bounces back up. Then they think it's going to new all-time high. This is market psychology, guys. This is how a bear market works. Then it comes back down. Then everyone wishes they would have sold here. Then it drops again, starts coming back up. Everyone gets bullish again, going to new all-time highs, and it drops again. Then they wish they would have sold here. Then they wish they would have sold here. Then they wish they would have sold here. All the way down. That is what happens in a bear market. Now, we zoom into the RSI here. You can see we had two tests of this trend line right here. We've had one test already, working on possibly the second. Now, if it goes up to the second test right here, that will create bearish divergence if it does get up to that 43,000 range, which is a possibility. But first, we got to get over this 8 EMA. If it does, that's around 43,000, which would match up with this second test we had right here. That is a possibility. I don't think necessarily it's going to happen, especially with what's going on in the world today, but we'll see what happens. If it does, I would think it would be a fake out to 43 and come back down, which would make bearish divergence on the weekly here. Hidden bearish divergence like we made all the way down over here. Also, the MACD is playing out almost identically also. As you can see right here, it kind of curved back up to retest. Looks like it's doing the same thing here. Everything's matching up perfectly. This would bring Bitcoin down under $5,000 if it was to play out like this. Now, looking at it in the macro on the monthly, as you guys know, I have this count. You can see in the white, I have the smaller wave counts, 5 waves in wave 1, then an ABC correction to wave 2, 5 waves in wave 3, ABC correction to wave 4, 5 waves in wave 5, and looking for a correction in a big correction. So this would be a big wave 1 and then a big wave 2. Now, this RSI indicator I have on here is the RSI supply and demand. You can see every time Bitcoin hit its top of wave 1, top of wave 3, top of wave 5, it had a supply and demand structure. Now, as you can see here, once it hit that, it alerted over here was a bear market. Back here, 2018, it alerted a bear market. We broke below the demand. Twice we broke below the demand. Now we've broken below it twice here. Will we continue back up? We'll talk about a place I'd look for a major bounce. If so, all these little bounces right now, I believe, are just little bull traps. Another thing we talked about in the monthly is this right here, these 3 red candles, 3 black crows. That is a trend reversal sign. I do believe still that is the case. As you can see, the bottom of the demand structure here is around 46.8. So we'll talk about that too. You'll see where that comes in. Let's look at the weekly. So this is the weekly chart, the rising channel everyone's talking about. The bottom of the channel right now is around 33.8 to 34,000 within the next week or two if we get down there. If that breaks, you guys know my target is the mid to lower 20s. Also, we had been watching this weekly RSI. Like I said, we got rejected right here. If we get rejected again, it may be as high as 43. Doesn't have to go that high, but that's where I'd be looking for it. That's where all our EMAs are going to meet up here. Another thing I want to talk about that we've talked about plenty of times, everybody thinks this drop in the summer was just like the one we're having now. Well, you look at the 55 EMA here, this is very important. We never opened and closed any candles beneath. We closed a candle and opened a candle, but we didn't open and close any beneath. Now look over here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 open and closed below the 55 EMA. There is nothing bullish about that. Now, if we open and close a weekly above the 55 EMA, then maybe we're getting bullish. But until then, big picture, still bearish. If you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out PrimeXBT. It is by far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. You can set this up however you want. And you can learn to use the platform for free by joining the contest section here. You get free money to trade with. If you win the contest, you get actual real tradable money that you can trade and keep the profits off of. Great way to learn a platform without putting in any risk. If you want to do that, you can use the link down below and my promo codes, which I have on this tutorial here. Savvy25 will get you 25% off of all your fees. Savvy50 will get you up to a $7,000 bonus. And the cool thing about Prime is you can trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, all kinds of stuff on one exchange. You can have multiple trades in. They don't clump them all together. Like I said, by far the most professional exchange I think there is for Bitcoin. Let's look at the daily. So this is the daily. This is a rising broadening wedge that we had been watching for a long time. We talked about the break here being bad. It was bad. The measured move of that, you just take the widest point from where it broke, bring it down, and you get the 23,000 range. So lower to mid 20s is where I would expect a bounce if it was going to remain super bullish. Now, if this area breaks, that just confirms that the Amazon type .com bubble is playing out, which is needed to wash out all the scams, in my opinion. So as of right now, if we look at the 0.236 fib here, that is the next point of rejection, which lines up with the 55 EMA. Again, that one's around 41.5 on the daily. If we're looking at the 200 EMA, that's around 46.7, somewhere in that range. But it does look like we are going to be coming back down to retest this down here on our low lows. So that would bring us down to that mid to lower 20 section now. Like I said, if we're going to get a bullish bounce, I expect it to be down in that range, but I'm not convinced that it will go to new all-time highs. Let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour, we had the same thing here, rising broadening wedge. Measured move of that is around 30,000. Obviously, we're getting a little push up. The 0.5 fib on the 4 hour is around 41,120. The golden pocket zone is about 42.4, and then we have this major high trade velocity area on the VPVR around 41.7, 41.8-ish. But I do look for a rejection in these ranges. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, if we do get up to this range, that will create some hidden bearish divergence up here from this peak to this peak, unless it was to break this peak, which I highly doubt. But you can see we got a nice bounce off the 4 hour trend line again right here. I do believe that this is just another big bull trap. Like I said, this is going to be one of those areas where people wish they would have sold in a month from now past there. I doubt we close a daily up in this range, depending on what the Dow does. This is the Lux Algo indicator. So we are right at the cloud now. This is major resistance, this cloud. If we break above, then we could continue on up. But if you see here, we had the strong daily sell signal right here at 44.7. If you'd shorted there, you'd still be a nice profit. Now, if we were to break above this range, obviously it would be time to get out. But I do believe good possibility we come down to test the bottom of this support cloud here. And if you see, every time we've did it before, we came to the almost dead bottom. What would that be? Around that lower $20,000 section, lower to mid. If you guys are interested in checking out my wife's webpage, that's also below, inkyourimage.com. Definitely check it out. She's got a lot of cool stuff on here. She got a crypto section. She put some new things in there if you guys want to go check them out. New things for the bulls. Ethereum, we got our bounce here. We talked about if we got a bounce, we could range in this area for a while, but ultimately I think we're going down to around the 1850. If we are in a long-term bear market, like I do believe is a very good possibility, we could be looking at $500 to $700 Bitcoin. Let's look at Litecoin. So Litecoin, you guys know, I'm going to move this over now because our trend line is sloping up. The point of resistance is around that 118 level. I do think we still have another chance for another low here. If we are in the longer term bear market, we should see around the $25 Litecoin. XRP, same thing. It's getting resistance on the 51 EMA here. We can move our support over to about 89. If it continues up, that's about as high as I see it go, but I do have these targets in the mid 20-cent range for XRP. If we are in a long-term bear market, then it could go much lower than that, so be careful. Dow Jones. So this is our rising broadening wedge that we were watching. We did not open or close any dailies below. We opened and closed above here, got a nice bounce, came back down, started opening and closing daily candles below. We were expecting this drop. And if we were to come back up here, the Dow is not bullish unless we open and close a daily above 34.2. If we open and close a daily above 34.2, we could be coming back up to the 36,000 range, 36,000 points. But I do believe that we probably, if we get anything up here, it's going to be a wick. We'll close below. Let's look at gold. Gold, as you guys know, we've been watching this. We did break this, but we did not open and close a daily above this. This was our target right here at the 1.27, and that was about 1912. Like I said, we got a wick all the way up to our target here. If you guys been watching, you know we had that, but unless we are able to break that, then it's bearish in my opinion. We're still coming down to these lows down here, possibly much lower than that, but these were my targets here for the longer term on gold, 1500 to 1600 range. Let's look at silver. Again, here it is. We wicked above our major resistance line, 2484. Could not close a daily above it. Back below, we talked about that. I'm bearish unless we close a we open and close a candle above this range. As you can see, we did get some bearish divergence here, hidden bearish divergence. We are in a downtrend. We got lower highs on the RSI, higher highs on the price action. That is hidden bearish divergence. The DXY, so on the daily, we hit our first target, and this target I made about 8 months ago. If you guys been watching the channel, next target's about 98.45, somewhere in that range. Still bullish. We're above all the EMAs here. This candle looks a little bearish on the daily right now, but we'll see how it ends up in the next couple days. And if you guys know the big picture, this is where I'm looking for the next major target, is around 102. And then if we go into the weekly, this shows the big picture, and this I believe will tell us when the actual bear market is over. Up in this range, around 108. And this is the weekly chart. I do believe we'll come up to retest this one more time. And this signified the bottom of the bear market here. This one signaled the bottom of the bear market here. So it's starting to look a lot like it did back then. So thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget, be careful, trade safe. Don't over leverage. Don't get crazy. And make sure if you are starting to trade, start out with a small amount, $5 or $10, or start out with the free PrimeXBT one. It's putting in no risk to learn. Now, if you get a strategy that works, then you can add, your own money if you'd like to, $5 or $10. If you can't grow $5 or $10, there's no need to put more money in because you're not going to be able to grow more trading. So once you get a profitable strategy, then you can put in as much money as you like. But be careful out there, trade safe, and be really careful about bull traps, guys. I really believe we are in a bear market. I could be dead wrong, but I'll let you know the areas, like I said, above 43, then I can start looking at possibly being bullish. But until then, I remain bearish. So Have a great day. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I am out.